Good morning, class.
Good morning.
Good morning. Sit down.
Thank you.
All right. Children, tell me, yesterday when we were doing the Vedic period and we had done about the Vedas, somebody had asked me a question. Are the Vedas a religious text? Somebody had said it's a religious text. Do you think it is a religious text, children?
No.
Huh?
No.
All right. If you say yes, give me one reason why you think it is a religious text. If you say no, give me one reason why you say it is not a religious text. All right. And I will ask. Now, each one of you have to wait for your turn. Can we start from the back? Yes, Arav?
I think they are religious texts because auntie, when the Aryans came, they pushed all the Hindus towards the south. So auntie, maybe they made their religious texts there in groups, and auntie they start.
All right. Okay. All right. Let me. Yes, Mustafa.
Auntie, I don't think that they are religious texts. I think that the religious parts in them are quite vague, and the rest of it is they just tell us about how to live life in a pious way.
Yeah. All right. Bhuvan?
Auntie, I think it's a religious text. As Auntie Arav said, Aryans. Auntie, I have also have the same point.
You have the same point. Jyotima, you were saying something? Yes.
I do not think it's a religious text because the Vedas have something in medical also, like we have Ayurveda. It's not like only one religion will use it. Everyone uses Ayurveda.
Correct. All right. And somebody over here, I think, Aryan, you had raised your hand.
The same point that Jyotima was saying.
All right. So, yes, Vishnu?
Auntie, yesterday you said that maths, the Vedic maths. So auntie, everybody can use that Vedic maths. It's not like the religious.
All right. So now you have the choice of believing that it is a religious text. You have the choice of also not believing it is not a religious text, because in medical, in maths, and whatever hymns are there, we had done that the Vedas have hymns. So whatever hymns are there, actually it cuts across all religion. For example, say Udaka Mangalam, Bhumi Mangalam, Surya Mangalam, Chandra Mangalam, Gagana Mangalam. All these are, can anybody say that it belongs to only us? Can any religion say that? No. It's for the larger humanity. And as Mustafa very well put, that it was for a way of life, to live our lives better. So therefore, but you have the freedom to believe that it is a religious text, and you can keep on doing research in that field and try to understand why it is, and you have the freedom to also believe that it is not a religious text. All right. Now, after the Vedic age, or during the Vedic age, in the south, I think we had mentioned about it yesterday, that there was a culture which was flourishing, which is known as the megalith culture. All right. A megalith culture. All right. And let's say megalithic. Okay. Mega means huge or big, and lithic over here will mean stone. So there was a culture, and why do we say it is a megalith culture or it's a stone culture? Is because it is associated with this culture. Mostly we come to know about it through what? Through
The big huge stones.
For what? They place the stones near where? Yes, near burials. They placed it near burials. So wherever they buried people, around it the stones were placed. How? Yes.
Until in the previous times, the stones were there where the dead bodies were buried. It was around it, and the same religion is followed today also. Like, people are buried in the graveyard, and they have their tombstones over there, showing their name, how much they lived, and all.
Exactly. All right. Okay. So now we will try to understand this culture through a question method. All right. So when did this culture exist? How long? How far away? It was more than 3,000 years ago. Am I clear? It was existing in India more than 3,000 years ago. Which were the areas? Can we have the map? Which were the areas where this culture was prevalent?
In the southern part of India.
In South India and in Northeast India, Asia nahi, Northeast, in Kashmir, in the Deccan. You understand Deccan and South India are different? You understand that? So it flourished in the Deccan, in Kashmir, in Northeast, in South India. Alright, so see, this is the Deccan that we are talking of. Alright, this is the Deccan portion. This is South India that we are talking of. We are talking of Northeast over here, and we are talking of Kashmir. We can't go up?
No.
Alright, so Kashmir, you know where Kashmir is, right? So we're talking of these places, they had megalith culture. Am I clear?
Yes.
Yes? Alright. So we have done, when did it exist in our country? 3000 years ago, where we have done that, right? Now, why or what were the distinctive features of this culture? So the dead were buried, and the stones were placed around the burial sites, right? They were placed around the burial site, right? Now the dead were buried, and one distinctive feature that we have, you understand the distinctive feature that we are talking of? One main feature that we find, that every dead body has a black and a red pottery with it. Alright, so it is called the black and red ware pottery. Alright, so every dead body is buried with what? A red and black ware pottery. Alright, did you understand? It was buried with that. Along with the dead bodies, in some places we have also found that horse skeletons have been found, equipments which were related to the horses have been found, weapons and tools of iron have been found, and ornaments have been found of gold and stones. So this is the main thing that has been found in every burial: red and black pottery. Am I clear? Alright. Along with this, in some of the places we have found skeletons of horses, equipments related to horses. We have also found tools and weapons made of which metal? Iron. Very good. Made of iron, and of course ornaments which are made of gold and stones. Did you understand? So these are the distinctive features, or these are the main features that are found in the burial sites. Am I clear? All right. Now can we see the burials, and let's see, there are various types. These are called by various names. Can we come to the presentation? Yes. See, this is a megalithic slide. Show kar do bachche. This is a megalithic site. Can you find?
Yes.
है ना? Can you see the position of the stones, how they are placed? Sometimes it is placed in a circular manner, sometimes in a semicircular manner, right? And there are various forms of megalith burials. Go to the next slide, and I want you to read. See the types of megalith burial. Can you find that? Alright, there are cysts, there are laterite chambers, there are alignments, there are sarcophages, and there are urns. Can you find that? These are the various types, and I want you to read that. Quickly read. Finish reading?
Yes.
Alright, now go to the next slide. Can you find, these are also megaliths. Can you find, this is a square chamber? Can you find it? Can you find how the stones, big, huge stones are placed over there? Possibly. Burials again. Go to the next slide again. Can you see, these are again different types. Can you see the huge circular stones that are placed? And there are chambers possibly. See, this is only big slabs have been found. Remember, in one of the types of burials you found, na? Slabs were put. So that is there. That is also, and all these types have been found in a place called Hampi, which is in Karnataka, Deccan region. Am I clear? Yes.
Auntie, the people in those times didn't have any technology like we have. So auntie, how can they have lifted so many?
That's the whole question. How do you think they may have lifted these huge stones and placed it at a height? How did they do it? This is a very pertinent question. Yes?
I heard that in the olden times, auntie, people were very stronger than us.
Stronger than us?
Yes, auntie, they had big muscles.
So they lifted the...
Auntie, no.
Oh wow. Yes, yes, yes. Aryan?
Auntie, it's like it might be like this, that bulls were there and the bulls might be
May have pulled it.
have pulled the walls and
Yeah, that's...
In the previous times, like who was it? Child said, I don't remember. The humans were stronger than us because today we usually use our vehicles to go around and we do not usually go out of the home. Before, they did not have these types of vehicles. They used to run and lift heavy things.
Yeah.
Right? So I think that they would have, many people would have gathered together and through some kind of, what do you say, construction thing, they would have made all.
Okay. Yes, Aslan. But yes, Moksh?
And maybe they would have dig some soil, and after that, by using some elephants or bullock cart.
They may have pulled it.
They may
Maybe.
have
I don't
pulled it.
know. Yes. Shaurya?
we can see in the first photo where slabs are pulled.
This is easy. We can lift it.
Auntie, but that can't be with elephants or bulls because auntie, they can't align the slabs in such a position. So auntie, they must be supporting like 5 people for a small slab.
Maybe. Yes. Arav, you were saying something?
Auntie, I think that maybe both the things are correct. That maybe the humans, the man at those times used to lift the things, and then the bull carts and all those things would.
They knew the thing of wheels, na? So they may have used it. Yes, Aslan?
Auntie, once my father told me about the theory of the Stonehenge, that some aliens came and put them on it. Auntie, so I thought this is the same.
No. I'll tell you what. Yes, Vishnu?
Auntie, like today also you can see that if a person is dead, auntie, many people gather around him to see him the last time. So auntie, many people there also gather around. So auntie, like they all go and just pick up the stones because it's a huge crowd when somebody is dead. So auntie, a huge crowd can lift up these stones.
Maybe. Maybe.
In the here in the second picture, you can see that they would have dig it.
Dug it.
Yes.
They may have dug the ground. Maybe. All right. Yes, Shaurya?
Auntie, this could also be a ritual
For the community? Yes, could be.
Rest in peace for the people who have came to see him off.
Correct.
Lift the stones and
Correct. It could be a ritual also, right? All right. Now, just to put a certain, I don't know, maybe I am right or wrong, I really do not know. But you know, when we are doing the evolution of humans, we see that what is the average height of man today?
26 feet.
5 to 6, 5 to 6, right? If a person is 6 feet tall, he is considered to be tall, right? But when evolution was happening, children, you know, the average height of man was 6 and 7. All right. So there was, they were naturally, they were more.
They must be more powerful also.
They were more powerful. So their muscles were more.
Meat and meat and
Whatever they ate, I don't know whether everybody may not have eaten non-veg, but still that was their height, and hence we can understand that they would lift the stone to a certain height. Mustafa, you want to ask me something?
That the height was 6 to 7 feet.
Because skeletons have been found where the earliest skeleton that we have found are around 7 feet tall. Am I clear? So that's the reason why we believe. Mustafa, you wanted to ask me something?
Auntie, was it stronger because like most of them were farmers and like
Hunters and gatherers.
diseases
these dogs are mostly sitting at a desk.
Could be. You know, till about 50 years ago, people were much more stronger than you are. We were much more stronger at your age than you are. You are more. You have, because we used to go out and play. We did more of physical.
इंसान के हाथ है इनको हालात
फौलादी हाथ है ना? So we used to go out and play every day. But how much do you play now? The question, right? So therefore we find that over generations, over a period of time, the height of man has also decreased a little. Okay, all right. Now can we go back to the map? Okay, now there are two places that are mentioned in your book. Can I have all of this? Have you noted this down, children? Okay, all right. All right, so there are two places in the map, if you can see. One is Inamgaon and one is Brahmagiri. Where is Brahmagiri?
in the south.
In south. All right, Brahmagiri is in the south and Inamgaon is in the Deccan. So we have two places, South India and the Deccan, right? First I will take the Brahmagiri site. Right? Now what has been found in a burial in the Brahmagiri site is that there is a skeleton which has been found with around 33 bangles or so, something it says. Yeah, it says, I'm giving you 33 gold beads, 2 stone beads, 4 copper bangles and a conch shell.
And it might be
Yeah, so keep that in mind. So along with that skeleton was buried 33 gold beads, 2 stone beads, 4 copper bangles and a conch shell. You know what a conch shell is? You blow it during havans na, puja karte ho to, you blow it, hai na, conch shell. All right. So, no, conch, shankh jise kehte hain hum, shankh. That's called a conch shell, right? All right. So in Brahmagiri, we have a skeleton with 33 gold beads, 2 stone beads, gold beads, yeah, and copper bangles, and there's something else also, wait, copper bangles and a conch shell. All right, okay? Now we are coming to a burial in Inamgaon. Can you find it, Inamgaon? It's in the Deccan, right? Now in Inamgaon, the site that has been found is around 3600 to 2700 year old. Am I clear? It's that old. And we have we have found buried people who were buried, or the dead who were buried, with their head which was pointing to the north. Every figure that has been found has the head pointed to the north of adults. Whatever. It's a belief. It could be a belief. I'm just giving you facts, and after that we are going to understand how it's. Okay? Here in Inamgaon, we also have found burials in houses. Do you understand? We have, so in the houses also people were buried. Yes.
It might be the people which is हमें हमारे घर में गरीब
हो सकता है. I don't know.
I think they would also believe life after death. So they
want to come back in the same house.
Family members would be with them and help them.
Very good. Did you understand? All right. Now, all right. So now here we have. And yesterday I think I mentioned that there was this particular burial in Inamgaon where a person was buried in a sitting position, cross-legged, in a clay jar which had 4 legs. Right? 4 legs. He was buried in his house. He was buried in a sitting posture with his legs, 4 legs of the jar, the clay jar. The clay jar had 4. No, he did not have 4 legs. I'm sorry, right? The clay jar had 4 legs. Clear? All right. And in that house, so he's buried in his own house, in that position, and that house also has a granary. Granary. You understand what granaries are? Where grains are so. All right, huh? Rich farmer. Very good. Right? Now, so yes.
Like he had a granary in his house, so he would be a rich farmer, and if they believed in life after death, he would come back to life, and he would work in the same places he did, wear the same clothes like
All right.
Egyptians.
Very good. Yes.
He might be the landowner.
Maybe the landowner. Yes. All right. So now tell me, children, through the burials, do the burials tell us a story?
Yes.
Do burials tell us a story?
Yes.
All right. Through the burials, can we understand social difference?
Yes.
How can we understand social difference? Can we understand social difference through burials? How can we understand social difference through burials? Yes, Aryan.
Rich and poor might be.
All right, so we can understand the difference between the rich and poor. Makes you think that a particular burial that has been discovered, the person was a rich person.
Auntie might be the thing.
Give chance to somebody else also. Yes, Abhishri?
Auntie might be the rare material like gems or the gold or silver material have been found in the burial.
In the burial. Very good. Yes. Yes, Vishnu?
Auntie, like you told in this Brahmagiri that 33 gold beads are found. So Auntie, it must be a very rich person with the 33 gold beads buried in that.
Buried in
if
that.
the 33 gold beads are buried, so I think so many gold beads will be her
In his
family members also.
Exactly. So if they have buried that much, yes, yes. Yeah, you have a question? Okay, yes. Huh.
Like this person had 33 gold beads in his burial. So, Adi, how can we not say that it was a gift from the people he knew to him?
Could be. It could be. But you don't go about giving gifts to everyone. You give gifts to only your friends. Amongst your friends, you gave the best of the gifts to the best friend that you have. Yes or no? So, based on that, what can we think about this person then?
His best friends are very rich.
Possibly, he also belonged to that. He was liked by the people. He was liked by the people. All right. So, there are so many things you can have.
Auntie, this could also be that which we called it at that time. He was in an upper class type of the.
Correct. We can understand the. Haan, bolo.
Like Adnan, you said that yes, might his friend gives him that, but the person has a friend, or that time the person has a friend like in his status. Like you can say if he is a rich, so he will. So the rich persons will give him. So he might. So we can say the person who is dead, he also might be the rich person.
Might be a rich person. Yes. You said no. You have something else to say?
It is before the later Vedic age. It all happened before the later Vedic age. So there was no Brahman, Kshatriya. Everyone had.
So he's not talking of Brahman and Kshatriya, na? He is talking of
the status.
The status. And the burials also tell us about the status of the person, what he could have been in his life. Yes.
Auntie also tell about the occupation. Like Auntie
How?
was saying, a man was buried in a granary. So Auntie, he must be a farmer.
Near a granary. So it could be all right. In some of the yes, Shaurya.
Auntie, couldn't it be like a competition because in that time in India there were many religions. So Auntie could
No. There were not many religions. All right. Yes.
Auntie, like the burials of the rich and poor. If we difference in that, like the poor, they are buried in a spot where many people are buried, and the rich, like over here, I'll go off topic a bit. Over here in the Bada Mambara house. So over there, the Nawab who made it was buried in the
Yes.
That represents that he was rich enough, and he was came out someday that he built the place It was a very big place, and he buried himself over there.
Yeah. All right. Now, why did I say there were not many religions during that time? Please let me tell you one thing to put things in perspective. Hinduism was a religion which was followed for a very long time, till Buddha challenged it, and Jainism came up much later. So Buddhism and Jainism. Then in the medieval ages, we had Islam coming over to India, Christianity as well as Islam. Am I clear? So therefore, the time period that we are talking of, we had the ancient form of Hinduism that we are talking of, whereby the Hindus worshipped nature gods. Am I clear? It's only with the Gupta period that we have started the form of worship that we have. Vishnu worshipped in the form of Ram, Krishna or any other, and various other forms came up only in the Gupta age, which is much later.
63,000 gods you believe.
Am I clear? Did you understand? So it came up much later. So therefore, when you said, that is the reason why I am giving you this. So during that time, it was only nature worship that was prevalent.
So auntie, couldn't it be the competition with other families that we are putting more gold and rich
Could be. It could be anything, beta.
I don't think so that they will be thinking this.
Whatever, right? It could be anything. The person could be rich, the family could be rich, right? He could have many good friends whom he knew and they helped. So all of that could be factors of. So, but my main purpose was to show you that even the burial sites tell us about the social difference that existed. Today also, if you go to a graveyard, you will find some of the graves are very well decorated.
Yes.
And some of the graves will just have a tombstone in it with the name written, right? Shows the difference. All right. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the chapter, children. I hope you enjoyed this chapter and learned something new from this, right? The next chapter will be remember day before yesterday I told you about, Ashoka comes a little later, about about the Janpads, the Mahajanpads, the 16 Mahajanpadas that we had in our country. Thank you, children.
Thank you.